Earth, the planet that we live on, home to nearly 10 billion people. But is it home to all of us? Some of us are not from here, and we know it. Maybe not consciously, but on a subconscious level, we know we don't belong here. So where did we come from? Which galaxy did we originate from? Who are our original people? We have to ask ourselves, are we from the Milky Way galaxy or from somewhere else? We are on a constant journey of searching where we belong and why we exist in the first place. But are the explanations from earthly religions going to answer these questions for us? So many people these days have questions of life and existence, but are left empty with only more questions after following some earthly belief structure for years. We also wonder, why are some people born with incredible talents and seemingly have an advantage over others intellectually, and some fall short? Do we reincarnate and learn through our existence, giving us an advantage in our next lifetimes? Or do we live only one lifetime and go to heaven like religion tells us? Some people believe we're in a simulation and our lives are being controlled by powerful beings. Some people believe that a creator deity presides over us and dictates every aspect of our lives. Or do we have control over our own lives completely, and we decide every aspect of our existence? We live on a planet that's shrouded in mystery with ancient structures that were built, but we have no definitive way of explaining how this was accomplished. Did other people from another planet come to Earth in the distant past and help our ancestors build these megalithic structures? Also, do ghosts exist, or are they figments of our wild imaginations? Have the hundreds of sightings of Bigfoot and other cryptids been fabrications of people that were seeking attention? Or have they been here with us all of this time? We also have to ask the question about our genetics and why we are so barbaric and warlike. Were we genetically manipulated by other human beings to be predisposed to barbaric tendencies? Have other humans and people from the great expanse of the cosmos been coming here for millions of years, and people are only denying this fact? I'm going to delve into these things: reincarnation, spirituality, existence, UFO encounters, the paranormal, science, genetics, and the future on livestream, and discuss with you, the listeners, and try to figure out the truth of all these mysteries. And maybe, just maybe, we'll find out together that we are all not from Earth.
Hello, everyone. Hopefully, having a good weekend. Welcome to my podcast. We're all not from Earth. This is episode 18. Scientists, military personnel, and other experts that have died or gone missing in mysterious circumstances. So, yeah, if you've been checking up on social media, you've seen um, it's starting to gain some traction on all these scientists going missing. So I wanted to talk about that tonight. Um, there's a whole lot more than you think there are, and this has been going on for like 70 years. So I'm going to delve into some of the names that I've found that other people haven't found. I've done my own research, discussed the names that people have found. It's not just going on in America; it's going on all around the world. So but first, some updates. Apparently, while I was preparing to do the live stream, Trump was having some kind of like dinner or whatever, and somebody tried to assassinate him. I told you. I can guarantee you, I know who it is. Uh, it's either the Rothschilds because he's trying to push them out, or he set the whole thing up. I saw a theory on there. Somebody said that he set it up, but and the shooter was killed. Um, I'm not really sure what to think about that. That situation is still unfolding, but yeah, they're gonna take him out, or it could be a third option. It could be you know disgruntled American or somebody. But the thing is, you can't gain access to a dinner like that. That's high profile, anyone that was there, they were personally invited by him and the White House staff. So, yeah, there's no way you can like smuggle a gun in like that into a dinner in enclosed area like that. If it was like out in the open, then yeah. But yeah, yeah, I don't think he's gonna make it too much longer. He's making all the wrong moves. He's a disgusting, negative individual. I don't think he's ever gonna disclose anything about UFO technology. That's the topic that I wanted to talk tonight about. Yeah, don't count on that. That's highly, highly unlikely. So, yeah, this Representative Luna, she keeps on pushing for it. I'm sorry, Luna, you're probably not going to get it. And yeah, there's some stuff about her today that she's like pushing for a pardon from somebody that's affiliated with MAGA. I didn't look into that or whatever, but it kind of proves my theory that she's corrupt. So I don't believe everything you see with her. Yeah, I've kind of made the decision that she's playing both sides. She's not a good person. So on the surface, it kind of seems like she wants like disclosure for all of us, which I already know it all exists. I don't need disclosure. I'm not one of those people that needs all that. Um, I've already come to my own conclusions about this. I've already seen, thousands of ships through my own experience, and I don't need any more proof. I don't need the government to say that it exists or these secret projects exist. Any of it, reverse engineered technology exists. I already know that it does. So that's for everybody else. That's for anyone that is kind of like on the fence about all this stuff that doesn't realize that there's such things as other human beings out there, which I already know that for a fact because I've seen their ships, I've astral projected, I've actually seen them personally, and I had some strange experiences whenever I was a child. Um, a couple images of the Zeta Reticuli bioorganic androids, which I'm not too sure about. I'm not going to go on record and say that I was like taken by them or anything, but some like latent memories. I guess that's kind of what happens when they remove your memories. You see like bits and pieces and flashes of stuff, but I can't say that I remember it, so I'm not gonna lie and say that I remember all the details. But yeah, also another thing, um, they've sent more ships over there to Iran with thousands of soldiers, and they're having trouble with the blockade, which Trump says there is no blockade, and then the next day he'll say that there is, and here we go, round and round and round we go, circle of lies, saying that negotiations are going to happen, and Iran says that they're not. Then they change their mind. You really don't know what to believe. So they've got most of the satellite footage shut down in that area. So honestly, there's really no way of knowing unless you're over there, like exactly what's going on. These people have, they've kind of covered all their bases, but the truth is coming out. And when some of these soldiers come back home, they're going to tell the truth of what actually went on over there. So you're not really sure what to believe, but I would assume just listen to everything that Donald Trump says and assume the opposite, and then you'll probably be right. But yeah, so apparently, also Cash Patel, he's on the way out too. All this is backfiring him. What a little weasel piece of garbage. He's like sue somebody for $250 million because they said that you were drinking on the job. Because it's true, that's why. If it wasn't true, then why would you get so upset about it? Why would you, instantly want to, file a lawsuit against somebody? If it's not true, just say it's not true, and don't get upset about it. That those are the people that are guilty all the time, the ones that go through, the greatest lengths to try to cover their stuff up. Just don't be corrupt in the first place. Don't make mistakes like that in the first place, especially the head of the FBI. Come on, have some like I don't know, some like sense of decency and professionalism. He's one of the most unprofessional human beings in the country right now, and he's so arrogant. My goodness, snapping at reporters, calling them liars, suing people. Man, I can't wait for that man to fall off his high horse. He is a hot mess, and you could literally tell on his face that he's lying about just about everything. And some people believe him, but uh, I'm telling you what, I definitely I don't. I know that he's a lying piece of garbage, just like everyone else in the Trump administration. They're all a bunch of liars. So um, yeah, don't believe anything that you see on the news. But here's some. I'm gonna put this up. Here's some footage of it's like a short clip. This is all I could find on Reddit. Yeah, so apparently, someone took a shot within that venue wherever they're at. Play it one more time. It really doesn't seem like anyone has any sense of urgency. My assumption would be it's because it was planned. So yeah, that's that clip. I'm sure you guys are gonna like see that later on. Those of you that are listening to this, later on Apple Podcast or Patreon, watching it on Patreon, you're gonna see that clip and probably other angles of that. So I don't understand how someone can get into dinner like that with a weapon, unless it was they were on the inside. It's the same thing like the assassination of Kennedy, even though it was outdoors. They pretty much covered all their bases. So um, that was Israel that killed him because he was speaking against Israel having nuclear weapons. So that was the reason why one of the many reasons why Kennedy got assassinated. He was also talking about like retaliating against the Catholic Church too. So Kennedy was trying to do a whole lot of things, and look how his relative is doing now. A complete hot mess, lying about things. He was going on that oversight committee meeting or whatever, talking about like Trump has a different way of doing mathematics. If you take something that's $600 and you drop it down to $60, it's a 600% decrease. Yeah, last time I checked, that's not how you do math. So, um, yeah, please don't listen to these idiots. My goodness, guys, they are on the way out. All of them. They are seriously. They're literally like deteriorating in front of our eyes. Which it could be just you know karma coming back at them. It could be other human beings, but um, I like to think that Pata and Quetzal and the Federation of Light, they're doing something to kind of speed up their process, but I'm not so sure if they do stuff like that. So could be just like the natural process of all the lies coming back to them, piling up on them, people becoming wiser, seeing things more clearly. Um, could be like people like me coming out with this stuff, maybe convincing certain people's. That's what we need. We need more and more people to, you know, see things for what they really are, and then they don't have anyone else to lie to. So if you gotta think about it this way: if if all of us don't accept the BS that's coming out of their mouth, um, and we don't believe anything they say anymore, then they can't lie to us. and they like self destruct because that's what they live by. They live by deceiving the regular people. So hopefully, eventually I can reach more and more people, and people will come to their own conclusions. Maybe take my advice on certain things, but yeah, that's kind of all that was in the news. Um, a lot of other things going on. So one of the most popular things that's going on now are these scientists and military personnel that are disappearing or dying. So I gotta say, like that when I was looking into this before I put up the slideshow, um, I had no idea like the amount of people that have committed suicide over the years. Like I didn't even look at every single year. I got to a point where I was just like skipping decades, and the majority of the people that committed suicide, sports players, poets, writers, political activists, politicians, and of course, like scientists and military personnel. That is so sketchy. Come on. I understand like some of them, these figures, these popular figures, like some of them, cycle like spiral into depression, but not all of them. And these people were like accomplished, and they accomplished something, like being like pro-Palestinian and against nuclear proliferation and all that kind of stuff. Like that is on a whole nother level of sketchy. And yeah, so I found some additional scientists that others haven't yet. Um, but this is going on all around the world. So it's not just in America. It's not just in China. I saw some things about China. I did not put the list of the scientists that were have died or gone missing in China. But I'm gonna put this up here now. Put that on full screen. All right, so I'm gonna start from the beginning. Beginning. So the beginning is Majestic 12. Some people believe that Majestic 12 was just a hoax. It became like popular with Linda Moulton Howe and a few others, but it is real. Majestic 12 did exist because there's even photographs with all of these people. So this happened after Roswell crash. That was what the next step. Say they found a ship back in 1904 in a cave in Utah. America did. The American government and military, they found this craft, a really large disc-shaped craft, thousands of years old. No one knows how old it was, but that's the first one that they found intact. Now, World War One was going on, then World War Two. They were working on this, but they couldn't figure out how to reverse engineer it. They weren't making that much progress. It did function. It did. They couldn't figure out how to fly it. Um, and they were trying to reverse engineer this thing, trying to pilot it, and they couldn't get it to work. So they did have some progress with the Nazi scientists that they brought over. So then you skip ahead to 1947, where a ship crashes in Roswell, New Mexico. On that ship, there are seven uh, small humanoids, grays. People call them grays, but they're Zeta Reticuli bioorganic androids. That's what they are. They were not human beings. There were no Zeta Reticuli humans that possess an Amadon spirit form, a creational energetic being. They had some sort of like advanced collective consciousness. The Zeta Reticuli have figured out a way to do that, to sort of connect them like that, and they're free to fly around to explore. and they come to Earth to do abductions. That's what they do, to study physiology. They do a little bit of biology research, but they do more abductions. They want to study our physiology and genetics. That's their like main purpose. So they have a technological malfunction. Their ships crash. The ship, plural, just one ship, singular. Um, that ship crashes. Days go by. It takes them a while to get over there, and they recover this thing. So there was already like um, the people in charge were already going to the newspapers and saying that a ship from another planet crashed, and they weren't supposed to do that, so they got replaced, and then the whole story changes from that point on. And they show like the weather balloon and all that, but they quickly cover this up. They split this crash craft into like three different sections. They send the physical bodies to Wright Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio. They send it there. They send part of the ship. They send some certain components of the ship to Alamogordo, and then they also send the other parts to Area 51. Now they're kind of like heightening their chances of figuring this out. So they have scientists in all these facilities now. Um, Everyone around the world ends up hearing about this, and China, Russia. This is after World War II. Remember that World War II ended in 1945, technically, but there was still fighting going on until like 1951. So, but the Illuminati hears about this. The Catholic Church hears about all this, and they jump on this. The 13 families jump on this opportunity. They're like, we found other craft in other places. Germany, Hitler found craft over there in Germany. The Russians found craft. So they all get together and they come to this agreement where they're going to keep this a secret. They're going to keep all this knowledge. This is the highest level of secrecy. And anyone that they invite, like scientists, geneticists, biologists, anyone of a scientific nature, they have to have clearance and they have to keep the utmost secrecy. So Majestic 12 is formed. You have Admiral Hillenkoetter, Dr. Vannevar Bush, related to the Bushes, Secretary James Forrestal, General Nathan Twining, General Hoyt Vandenberg, Dr. Detlev Bronk, Dr. Jerome Hunsaker, I think I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Then you have Sidney Sewers, Gordon Gray, Dr. Donald Menzel, General Robert Montague, and Dr. Lloyd Berkner. Now, there's a General Walter Smith. He ends up replacing Secretary James Forrestal. And the reason why is because supposedly he loses his mind. That's not what it really was. James Forrestal was the Secretary of Defense. He did not lose his mind. He was a very sane person. They said it was exhaustion from work and all that, but that's not what it was. It was because he opposed the establishment of the state of Israel. That's one of the reasons why. He was also talking about this reverse engineered technology to people. He wasn't supposed to do that. And he knew what they were going to use it for. They were going to use it for like world domination and to try to get out there and spread supremacy on other planets. Now, back then in 1947 and 48, they hadn't made any real progress yet, but they were hopeful on this, so that they would bring in the brightest of the bright of all the scientists. They would do that, make them sign a lot of NDAs, and they would be sworn to secrecy. They started creating underground facilities. That's what they started doing all over the place. So that's when all these underground facilities started being created underneath Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, underneath Area 51, underneath Dugway, Alamogordo, Los Alamos, um, other places around the world, because they wanted to hide this from the public. That's why they could not um, disclose this to the public, because what it would do, it would crumble religious organizations. The Catholic Church would be ruined. Christian Church, Mormon Church, Judaism would be ruined. All of it, every single bit of it, because this would prove that we're not alone, that we're not the only people out there. So they, had a meeting, all of the world elites, and they swore to keep this a secret no matter what, to never divulge this. Never. They're never going to divulge this. Now, they've had to change their tactics, because you've had certain whistleblowers that have come out, military personnel, and they've spoken, and they had to change their tactics on it. So what they do is they have misinformation specialists. They have government plants. They train them to do this. They train them over in Israel. They train them in America. They train them in Russia and China. And they, throw people off on the facts. They feed a bunch of crap, a bunch of BS to people, and people eat it up. They also use reverse engineered craft to make it look like it's, otherworldly. It may sound like counterproductive, but they're the ones controlling the narrative. And all of the big, ufologists, MUFON, Luis Elizondo, Stephen Greer, all of these people, even Bob Lazar is a government plant now. He's coming to an agreement. A lot of people are going to disagree with this. A lot of people are, but I can promise you, Bob Lazar is a government plant now, and he's feeding people misinformation about all this. So there's really no one to trust with this, because they've paid people off, and people are afraid of dying. Bob Lazar is afraid to get killed, so he's not going to speak out on the truth. And really, he doesn't know too much anyway. And that's how they do it sometimes. Sometimes they compartmentalize all this stuff. But so they control the entire narrative around the entire world. They control the media. They control all these people. These people are so unbelievably submissive and cowardly. They don't have a, rebellious bone in their body. But every now and then, you get a person like me that's, not afraid to die, not afraid to tell the truth. Apparently, James Forrestal was one of those people. He was high up there in Majestic 12. He saw all kinds of stuff, and he did not go crazy. So they sent him to Bethesda Naval Hospital, and supposedly he fell out of a 16th floor window, just like that. And he died May 22nd, 1949. So that was his fate. And then he was replaced by the General Smith. So, all right. We have one scientist from India that I found. His name is Etienne Vinayak. He helped found the Coalition for Nuclear Disarmament and Peace, CNDP, in the year 2000. And what was so controversial with him was also because he was involved with nuclear projects, but also that he argued that Hindutva and Zionism are pretty close. They're almost the same. And Hindutva means Hinduness. It's sort of like a fascist belief that only Hindus are superior and need to be in India. So he died of suicide in 1970. So the majority of these people, they've died of suicide, supposedly, and they were, psychologically sound. So very, very sketchy. In America, I found that Leroy W. Apker, he died in July 5th, 1970. He worked on photoelectric emissions of electrons from semiconductors. So he was also a scientist working on electrons. They were trying to figure out how to harness the power of electrons, which, if they harness the power of electrons, that means they can leave the system. So they already had like reverse engineered ships in 1970, but they can't figure it out. You also have Robert Morton Smith. He was a historian. He died July 11th, 1991, and he founded the Mar Saba letter and in Bethlehem, a letter that stated there were more than one God of Jews, and both factions were fighting each other for supremacy. So that's not really like UFO connected, but that's connected to religious delusion, and the Catholic Church, rules over all this. They're in charge of all these projects. So the 13 families that fund all these things. So that was very, very provocative. People didn't want to know that you know these gods or gods of the Bible, they were actually people. That's pretty much like the summary that Robert Morton Smith came up with. And he was ridiculed, and supposedly he killed himself. He was a very sound, sane person, but yet again another suicide. All right, then you have Robert A. Schomer. He died December 12th, 2001. He was an astronomer at Rutgers University. He worked on the Gemini Observatory project in Chile. He also studied galaxies and dark matter. So he did work for government projects, the Gemini project, and you even hear about that nowadays. So that was 25 years ago, but the Gemini project is sort of like mutated, and a lot of prominent astronomers and astrophysicists work on that. So he killed himself also, which he was a very happy person. So, all right. Also in America, you have Lieutenant John Gregory Rossi. He died July 31st, 2016. He was going to be commander of the United States Army Space and Missile Defense Command. I forgot to put the D in there, but yeah, he was a very loved general. Everyone liked him. Very, very accomplished man. I didn't put like all of his accomplishments up. He had like a couple dozen, like medals of honor and all this kind of stuff. I mean, he was a very sound, sane person. But supposedly he killed himself on July 31st, 2016, 2 days before he was supposed to take command in the United States Army Space and Missile Defense Command, which that is, the satellites that would shoot missiles out at countries. And that's not all they work on. They work on, like things of an alien nature. All right, you have Frank Mywald, Michael Hicks, and Monica Reza. They worked at NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory. You got Carl Grillmare, worked for Caltech's Infrared Processing and Analysis Center. You got General McCaslin and Monica Reza were both linked to work at NASA Labs Material Processing Group when it comes to metallurgy. So they're trying to advance the metallurgy on these ships. That was one of Monica Reza's jobs. She was an independent contractor. All these scientists that have gone missing, Frank Maywald, Michael Hicks, Monica Reza, they are working on the surface. They're not working in these underground cities that they're building, but they bring them in because they have interesting theories, and they're at the top of their field, and they make them sign NDAs, and they're in on these projects. If they cannot complete these projects, if they cannot figure it out, usually, and they end up saying something, they end up talking, so they end up dead. That's the way that it works. All right. You have Melissa Casillas and Anthony Chavez worked at Los Alamos National Laboratory. Then you have Amy Eskridge worked on anti-gravity. Amy Eskridge was interesting. Saw a lot of videos, a lot of her messages and all that. She was not a coward, I can tell you that much. And she didn't deserve to go out the way that she did in 2022. So that was 4 years ago. She also talked about the ships that some people see in the sky is as us from thousands of years in the future, next incarnations coming back in time to observe us. So she was talking about reincarnation. She was talking about all of it. She was involved in all of it. She was another independent contractor, and she saw too much, and she couldn't accomplish it. She also even said that she couldn't figure out the problem. So that's the reason why they took her out, because she knew too much. She wasn't a full time employee living in these underground cities, and apparently that's just what they do. They just take people out because they can't take the risk of them talking much. And she was talking a lot. She was talking to a whole bunch of people. Maybe the guy that she was exchanging like messages and emails with, maybe he sold her out. That's highly likely. And then in America, you have Nuno F.G. Loureiro. It was a physicist and fusion scientist and MIT professor that worked for the Department of Energy, and he died in Massachusetts. Then you got some other scientists. Elizabeth Goldschmidt. She died May 6, 1970. She was a German born Israeli. She is called the founding mother of genetics in Israel. Then you have a man named Joel Shirk. He died May 16th, 1980. French theoretical physicist. He studied string theory and supergravity. His work was a precursor to the CERN collider. And apparently he committed suicide too. So, yeah, that's it for the slideshow. So, um, this is just unbelievable. Like I said, I just skipped. I mean, there are so many scientists and geneticists and biologists that have committed suicide. You guys wouldn't believe it. I didn't even bother, collecting all the names. I don't really think that is necessary. Um, because anybody perceptive, you can see the pattern. What it is these people, either they do accomplish something and then get rid of them, or they don't accomplish, the problem that they need to solve, and they get rid of them anyway, and they make it look like suicide. They make it look like drug overdose, jumping from the 16th floor of a building, and apparently that's where Admiral Byrd went to Bethesda, Maryland hospital. Also, he was the one that spoke with the peoples that live in Antarctica. So that's where they send them. They were also talking about doing like electroshock therapy on Forrestal. They were giving him unbelievable amounts of insulin, um, trying to shock his biology and physiology. It was when I was reading the medical treatment he was getting, it was unbelievable. Um, I couldn't believe it. They're literally trying to make him go crazy, and then they were um, the drugs that they were putting him on. I forget the names of them, but um, they were giving him large doses and then like making him go through withdrawals so he can become psychologically crazy. That's a tactic that the CIA uses with people that they capture. Unbelievable. Nothing that he did deserved that sort of treatment, but that's the way that they treat people. And apparently, all of these scientists, geneticists, historians, these people were being being assassinated, and they do a pretty good job of making it look like it's an accident, making it look like they did it on their own. They even write suicide notes. They've done that. They've even if somebody would like analyze the handwriting and their personal hand, I guarantee that there would be discrepancies. Unless they have like some professional, person doing that specifies that's a specialist in handwriting, and then they kind of can mimic their handwriting. But guys, this is going on. This is the truth, and it doesn't appear like it's going to stop. Also, Donald Trump fired the entire science board too. So I have a feeling that has something to do with this, with the scientists going missing or dying. I don't know what the connection is as of right now. I don't know. I don't want to really make any assumptions, but it does appear that it has something to do with that because you just don't fire everyone at the same time. They're not making enough progress. That would be, a good theory. And what it is, they're trying to harness the power of electrons. They're not going to do it. I can tell you right now, if any of them listen to this later on or listening right now, guys, you are not going to be able to figure out how to um, harness electrons. I know how to do it. I'm not going to tell you how to do it. You could torture me, and I still won't. I'm not going to tell you how to do it. And I could tell you one thing: the Federation of Light, they're never going to let you get off Earth out of the system. They'll let you get off Earth and fly around the system a little bit, but you're not going to be able to leave. They have ships in place. They have technology in place. You are not going to go fly out there in the galaxy and reign supreme and spread your religious delusion and go around and kidnap other people's children and women and men. It is not going to happen. And I can tell you, your days are numbered. My goodness, this is just disgusting. And the things they do now that they've accomplished certain things with this reverse engineer technology, um, they're going around kidnapping children, women, and men, using them for experiments, doing genetic experiments, trying to, prolong their life, trying to make themselves immortal, cheat death pretty much. But it's not going to happen. We all die. We're all on the clock, myself included. Everyone is. So, um, yeah, keep on trying. They're not going to let you do it. I'm just telling you right now. The Andromedans and the Federation of Light, they do exist. They are there. I know that because I've seen them. I'm not having any like ongoing contacts with them, but I know that they're there, and I can see the evidence of what they're doing. So I don't know every little detail of what they're doing, but I can tell you that some positive progress is happening. Some, but yeah. So all these negative intrigues, killing these people, assassinating them, making look like suicides. Continuing this endless cycle of negativity. Guys, you're not accomplishing anything. They've already thwarted the Illuminati's plans more than once. They stopped a catastrophe from happening because these megalomaniacal scientists, they created some sort of weapon that blew the planet up. I really think that the planet did blow up, and they saw it, and they went back in time and changed it. So they took away that. Um, they are holding you back from making any sort of advancements. You're not going to figure out electrons because, guys, if they do figure it out, they're going to be able to leave the system, and that's not going to happen. So they can think that they're going to be able to achieve that, but you can kill 1,000 more scientists, and it's still not going to do anything for you. Not until this civilization becomes positive. And guess who's going to make the advancements? The positive people. So all your efforts, they're in vain. Oh boy, guys, that is the connection. There are underground tunnels all throughout the planet. There are facilities all throughout the planet. They have scientists from Germany, from China, from Japan. They all share scientists. They come to America. They stay over there in their areas, and it's like a competition almost to see who can figure it out, who can advance, the technology to the highest level. Amy Eskers was talking about that you know they surveil, like China's surveilling what America's doing, America's surveilling what China is doing. It's a worldwide cooperative network. There are scientists from everywhere, even from Iran. There's scientists too. Um, Iraq, Africa too. There's scientists from Africa. There are large facilities underneath the ground in Africa also, um, but they mostly focus on the main ones in America. One under Paris. There's a really large one underneath Sydney, Australia. So you've got these like magnetic levitation trains that transport these people back and forth. Kind of like that movie, the new movie Total Recall, where they hop on that train, they go through the Earth's core. They go from Great Britain to Australia. Those are the two colonies that are left. It's kind of like that, but you don't go through the Earth's core though. You just go like underneath the crust, and it's a cooperative effort because they're trying to solve this issue. The Illuminati is it's being funded by a small group of people, Catholic Church, and these top families, and they so desperately want this technology. I mean, they're like salivating over it, and they're getting angry with people because they can't figure it out. It's not their fault. The Federation of Light's never going to let you do it. So they're just like innocents that are sacrificed. They honestly try to solve the issue, but they can't do it. So, but yeah, what's infuriating me is the fact that they're letting all this happen, this negativity happen, just for the sake of progress. I just cannot get over that. They're not gonna let the Illuminati achieve what they want to achieve with the electrons rise, but at the same time, they're sitting back and they're letting people just do whatever they want. And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. So the day's gonna come when they're gonna feel horrible about that. Watch. You can't just do that. It's the positive people who deserve a chance to make the technological advancements, the scientific advancements, the physiological advancements, genetic advancements, and sociological advancements. It is our right to do that, but they don't really care about that. All they care about is progress. And these projects, they're making some progress in the scientific field, and that's going to help us out in the future. But yeah, I don't agree with that sort of mentality at all. They're very very cold hearted, apathetic people, but the only reason they're not going to let us off of Earth is because it's going to spread genetic manipulation to other peoples and religious delusion. They don't want that, but they don't care about anything else. Obviously, they couldn't care less about innocent children, women, and men that are getting used in the most disgusting ways. Guys, it's gonna be um, for nothing in the future. People are gonna realize this, and there's nothing you could do about it. You can't change that. You can't change anything that has happened in previously. You can change things that are happening now if you have the means to do it, but us regular people, we can't really do much. But I'm just providing some of the facts. I know there's gonna be some people out there that are not gonna believe, that these people were off, that nefarious, mysterious circumstances. But it's just you got to put two and two together. You got to come to your own conclusions, whether you believe in me or whether you don't. Whether you think it's like some sort of conspiracy theory or just you believe the nonsense dribble that comes out in the news and popular propaganda. You believe whatever you want. That's fine. We're all free human beings. We need to come to our own conclusion. That's what I want. I want people to come to their own conclusions and do the fact checking yourself, and maybe you'll start to see. But the thing is, you have to be open minded first. In order to make these connections like I have, you cannot be closed minded. You have to be open minded to the possibility of this stuff. So it's going to take time, I guess, for this civilization to become more and more open minded and to let go of some sort of ridiculous religious delusional way of thinking because it doesn't serve any purpose. It doesn't. So once you let all that go and you start thinking creatively, intellectually, and you come to your own realizations and cognitions, you're going to make incredible advancements, and all the other connections are very very easy to connect the dots. But that's for everyone to figure out on their own. I just wanted to throw some more names out there. I know this is like worrying a lot of people. Guys, it's not going to stop. And the Federation of Light is not going to do anything to stop it because they're a bunch of cold hearted, apathetic, spiritual elitists. But they are preventing, the destruction of civilization, and they're preventing the Illuminati from going out there and doing anything worse that's going on here on Earth. So pretty much they're keeping everything contained on the planet, um, which is a good thing, but a bad thing for us. So we have to live within this ecosystem of negativity, but it's almost over though. I can tell you that right now. So anyone out there that's a part of these projects, I would advise quit. Just quit. Don't be a part of something like that. It's wrong. It's negative. It's immoral, and you never know. Your time might be up because once you're not useful anymore, then they discard you like a piece of garbage. And you're going to realize at the end that you should have never gotten involved with this project in the first place. But um, you know, but I believe in scientific progress. I just think that, well, I don't think I know that it's up to the positive people to do it. Because if you have positive people that are making advancements, then you're gonna have a positive society. You have negative people that are making advancements, then they're going to use it for negative purposes. Common sense, but maybe common sense ain't too common with the Andromedans and Federation of Light. I can tell you one thing. This lack of empathy and compassion, I'm just done with those people. In the future, I want nothing to do with them. I want absolutely nothing to do with the Andromedan peoples. I want nothing to do with the Federation of Light, Pleiar, and Temerians. None of them. They've literally sat back and they've watched the most horrible things happen, even though they are doing something. And I'm grateful for the little bit of help that they're doing. But yeah, go screw yourselves. Seriously, go royally screw yourselves, because I can tell you right now, if the roles were reversed and I was the one with spaceflight technology, I would never let them go through this. But obviously, they don't care about me or anybody else, or all they care about is progress. So who cares if you do it in a disgusting way? If it's the opposite of what's natural, beautiful, and creational, they don't care. These people have done horrible things themselves, so they think, we became positive. Earth humans will become positive, and they'll learn a lot from this, and it'll all be, a freaking paradise hundreds of years into the future. Yeah, keep on dreaming. It's going to be worth for nothing. And those of us that do come back in time and watch are going to be like physically disgusted by things going on. And eventually people are going to realize that. But it's going to be a long time before people realize that I'm right about all this. And it's going to be too late then, because it would always already have transpired for hundreds, maybe even a couple thousand years if I don't incarnate anytime soon. But I'm going to stay my ground. I'm going to stick to what I believe in. I'm going to stick to my morals. And I know that if I was in charge of the situation, I would do things differently, but I'm not. So, guys, these are, it's not conspiracy theory anymore. So stop thinking that things are conspiracy theories. Start connecting the freaking dots for yourself. Please let go of this nonsensical way of thinking. I mean, conspiracy theory is becoming fact now. The more and more we go on. So please do the research, do your due diligence, and look into all these things. Where there's smoke, there's fire. So, but yeah, I think that's it for tonight. You guys have a good rest of the weekend, and I guess I'll do another episode maybe on Friday or Saturday, because I work a regular job. But just like everyone else. That's it, you guys. Keep on thinking positively. It's almost over. It really is. I'm counting the days. I'm counting the minutes until it's over or whatever. But I wish you guys good luck. I'll see you on the next episode, or I'll see you in the next lifetime. Good night.